All right, everyone. Before we get to our final take, go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the bottom there and hit the like. Go ahead and follow us and like us. We're going to be actually be creating a Twitter page here in the next couple of days. We're always going to be letting you know what's going on, give you some highlights, give you some updates. So no matter what, you can at least hear our take on the latest news. All right, in this last segment, I want you guys to go ahead and give a couple of minutes just to express your feelings on any sports topic, any sports category, if you will. What's your thoughts, Dylan? Let's go with you.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs, the news today was they signed Le'Veon Bell. A lot of people are saying this puts him over the top, but I don't think it really moves the needle that much. He is a pass catching back, though, so I'm kind of excited to see what Andy Reid could drop for him, but he hasn't really shown me anything over the last, year and a half, however long it's been with the Jets, that he's still really going to be a difference maker. What do you guys think?
I want to really love the move, and on paper it makes sense, right? But I mean, you're right. I this is a guy that I personally put a lot of stock into to kind of prove the Pittsburgh Steelers organization wrong and prove that he was still that guy and everything. And granted, yes, there's been a ton of rumors and everything else regarding like his usage and basically Adam Gase just being a poor coach and not knowing how to use him properly. But at the end of the day, it's not like he never touched the ball, right? So like he still had opportunities and he still came up far shorter than he was expected to have, so who knows? We've watched Andy Reid just do some really amazing, incredible things with this offense, and given that Le'Veon Bell will be back into a position like he was with Pittsburgh, where he won't be like immediately demanded to be that number one superstar offensive workload guy, when kind of like in Pittsburgh where they had Antonio Brown and Big Ben, and you can kind of share some of that love. He'll be sliding into a position where he'll just need to fill a role. When you've got all of the amazing, the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the Tyreek Hills, just all of the amazing talent, Patrick Mahomes, et cetera, it allows Le'Veon Bell to, slide in, play a very important key role, and just excel at that. And then who knows, maybe slowly but surely, then he just kind of falls back into that who he once was, or at least flashes of it.
Yeah, I look. Adam Gase didn't even really want Le'Veon as a GM, who ended up getting fired for the deal. I think part of it was
true. That is true.
So there was this kind of uncomfortable situation with him. I can't really judge him off this goddamn horrible experience for his 17 games he played. Coach didn't want him there. Team sucks. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me to judge him off of this. If he's even like 70% of the guy he was in Pittsburgh, then this puts KC over the top. If he's even like a fraction. But I can't really say anything because obviously Adam Gase is a disaster. Jets are a disaster. And yeah, he didn't succeed there. But who the hell will? I mean, I want you to tell me right now which running back in the NFL right now. Take Saquon Barkley. Take whoever. Put him on that team with that goddamn disaster of a franchise. And you're going to tell me, oh, that guy's going to go off and he's going to get your fantasy numbers. What?
Russell Wilson would do it.
Maybe.
Are the Jets the worst franchise in the NFL right now?
I don't even know if he could do it. I mean, I don't know. That franchise is a disaster. I don't care who you're bringing in. And on top of that, you have a guy come into a franchise who's very big-headed, who's very cocky, as he should be. He's a phenomenal athlete. But to go into a franchise where the coach doesn't want you there, which Adam Gase did not want it, if we remember from the start.
It's true.
To go into that, to have that headbutting from day one, you don't have the right juju. I cannot judge him. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him in a Kansas City uniform just because I want to see if he's still the same guy he was, if he's a fraction of it.
And I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
really, really fun.
He doesn't need to be the workhorse there. He just needs to make a couple big plays a game, and those couple big plays, 2 big plays a game can put him over the top. That's it. He needs a couple big plays a game, and it puts him over the top because they're already right there. They're right there. They're right there with Green Bay, with Seattle, with Baltimore. They're right there in the mix.
Tennessee, baby.
Tennessee now, the Bills are really good. But I'm saying they're right there. They're right there. So that 1 or 2 extra plays a game might put him over top. That's all you need. We're not asking the guy to get 80 yards a game. 1 or 2 plays a game.
Yeah.
I might be forgetting someone, but I believe, is this the most versatile back the Kansas City has had since Priest Holmes?
Yes.
It might be.
Wow.
I don't know what Adam Gase was doing that he couldn't find the right role for this guy. But I trust Andy Reid can do that. And so
Offensive genius.
I don't see how it's anything but a positive for Kansas City. Like you said, I mean, they don't need him to, carry the ball 20 times a game, from the outset. Like, they can find a role for him, fit him in, and they're going to be winning. And so when you're winning, it's always easier for a player to accept a lesser role than maybe what he was used to, with Pittsburgh getting a lot of carries. So, I think I don't see any reason why it won't work out for them. So yeah, it's like good move for both player and team, I think.
And speaking of the Tennessee Titans, as I brought them up, how about those Titans blowing up the Buffalo Bills on Tuesday Night Football?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Tuesday Night Football. You guys catch that game?
That needs to not become a thing. Tuesday Night Football.
Yeah, please no.
It's too much. I was a surprise.
Waiting all day for Tuesday night, baby.
I thought that was going to be like a close game. It was hyped up. It's like, the 2 undefeated teams, and I think the Josh Allen MVP train might have gone off the rails right there.
Dude, it flat went out into the water after that game.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've been waiting for this moment. I have. And don't get me wrong. Like, I think the Buffalo Bills are a legit playoff team. Like, they are scary.
They're going to win that division.
Yes, we should absolutely 100% take them seriously. But, like, I also think that they got incredibly overrated incredibly fast. Like, the fact that people were trying to make legit MVP arguments about Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson.
And downplaying the Patriots.
Yeah,
downplaying
exactly.
the Patriots.
Stop. And then the fact that they're acting like it's just that the team as a whole is like destined for the Super Bowl, and Josh Allen can do no wrong, and he's going to throw 500 yards a game and 5 touches. Like, even as a huge avid, as everybody who tunes into this show weekly, as you guys who do this show with me, all of us, like, you guys know how much of a Seahawks freak and Russell Wilson fan I am. Dylan, you especially. And, like, even I knew that the start that he had to that season, like, all right, that's got to level off somewhere, right? And then the same thing with Josh Allen. And even when we're talking about leveling off, Russell Wilson is a far superior quarterback than Josh Allen. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's a question, at this point.
I mean,
right. So, like, there had to have been a plateau.
A correction. Yeah.
Right.
Look, he's going to have 1 or 2 bad games. That's going to happen. I'm personally tied because since week 7 of last year, 13-3, they're 3rd in the league in points at 30.8 points a game. They played really good defense. So they've picked it up, and that goddamn stiff arm by Derrick Henry. Grown fucking man.
Hey, Josh Norman better be careful because the last player that got stiff arm like that was Earl Thomas, and look what happened to his career.
Legend has it Josh Norman's still falling down to this day.
No, he's still. No, hey, he rolled all the way home. He rolled all the way home. The thing is, you don't go, first of all, to chest out against that motherfucker. Like, listen, go for his knees, go for his ankles, let him jump over you. But he's doing a little trying to slap the stiff arm away. Like,
I'm telling you, bro.
Earl
Thomas got stiff arm by him, and then his marriage fell to shambles. He got cut from his football team. His whole life fell apart.
Oh, that's mean. No, but the point.
That's the fact. No, but hold on. Let me finish with the thing with the Bills. As much as I was high on Josh Allen, but also I'm not going to excuse him for 1 bad game. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand it was Tuesday Night Football. A lot of variables there. Preparation. The COVID stuff, they kind of threw him with Titans. They kind of threw him out of schedule. There's a lot of things there that could have worked against him. And maybe, it's a bad game. I'm not going to judge him on that because that's a first and maybe only ever Tuesday Night Football game in NFL history. So you got to understand the preparation. These guys are professional athletes. They know exactly what their diet is, how much they're going to run. leading up to the game. They planned everything out. They strategized. And when you're going to throw them a curveball, said actually showing up on Tuesday, but the way I'm resting on Thursday, the way,
set up. You're saying their body is trained to peak on Sunday, basically.
Exactly.
The thing about it, though, is that the Titans are the team that didn't practice for like 2 weeks, right?
Right.
Like, and they had people who were out because of COVID. You would have thought the Bills hadn't practiced ever with how terrible they looked in that game. You can't put it all on Josh Allen either. Like, the defense just got flat run over. Like,
his first interception was on him, in my opinion. The second one was. But like I said, look, this was a very weird situation being a Tuesday night football game. Look, he's played phenomenal. He's been the third best quarterback up to this game this year so far, in my opinion. He's played amazing.
Agree.
And look, hey, it's a stumble in the road, but he's still young. I'm looking for but also we also got to understand, like I said earlier, 13-3 since week 7 of last year, 30.8 points per game, 30 in the NFL. This Titans team. This isn't a slouch team. This ain't a garbage team. This is a legitimate contender at this point, and I think we all have to recognize them as such.
Ryan,
I know awesome. That we are about to sign off here, so maybe we'll keep this one super brief. But how exciting is the young upcoming class of quarterbacks in this league right now, right? I mean, we're finally at a point where like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, they're the old guys now, you know what I mean? But when you've got Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrows, but when all of the like an insane amount of incredible talent.
Bro, you forgot Haskins.
Position.
You know what? And
if only we could all forget.
But it's just like there's a ton of damn talent in the league right now at that position.
I think we should touch on Haskins though. I think Haskins is a guy that has been overlooked and he's in a bad situation. He's gone through 3 different coaches. That's 3 different strategies. That's 3 different, ways of running a team in only a year and a half. This guy, the numbers he has put up match the guys of, your quarterback in New York. They match everyone's. He had some great games last year as well. But it's the dude that's only been a year and a half. With 3 different coaches.
Right.
Ron Rivera could have had Cam Newton, right? He's coached him in Carolina. The reason he passed on it because obviously he thought maybe the word was that Haskins is his guy. Okay, you go bench him a couple games into the season. I don't understand the thought process on Rivera's part on this.
Well, here's what Rivera's doing. The quarterback he has starting now was his quarterback in Carolina.
You guys have to realize
his guy. So when he took that job, he had all intentions of making him his starting quarterback, and that's kind of the problem I'm talking about right now.
You guys have to realize Haskins reportedly has a maturity problem, and some of the team is really not happy with the guy. After they got stomped by the Baltimore Ravens, he's going around the locker room bragging that he threw for over 300 yards. You can't tell grown men, professional football players, hey, look at my stats when we just got our asses kicked. That does not bode well with people.
He's young. He's a bit immature, and I'm not making excuses for the kid because that's not what it is. That is wrong and immature. But my point is the guy has been under 3 different quarterbacks. If we're going to look at the stats, if this is an analytic league now is what I keep hearing is he should still be the starting quarterback for the Washington, football.
I just think you wasted all of that.
Stats are one thing, though. Is he making the plays to help his team win at the right moment?
And that's true. But then we talk about Rivera, a guy that was brought in that had no intentions of making this guy his quarterback for the future. It's always been Allen who was his quarterback that took over for Cam Newton back in Carolina.
And who played well for Rivera.
He's solid. He's a solid guy.
He went 4-1 in the games that Cam Newton missed,
solid.
Including a four touchdown game. And he played really, really, really
Absolutely.
well.
Hey, look, that organization, from going to having changed their name, right? From having Rivera get cancer. There's been so many freaking issues with that organization. From the scandal with the whatever prostitutes or strippers. I don't know what the hell happened over there. No. The sexual abuse or allegations they had. Where the hell happened? Which, hey,
Yeah,
what
sexual harassment scandal.
what corporation is that not happening? I guess nowadays. So with everything been around it, you give this guy a couple of weeks and you bench him. I don't see the logic in that. You wasted a lot of draft currency on this kid. That was your first pick. You got to let him ride it out. Maybe this is the way to throw him in, but do we see a version of him starting again unless a disaster happens to the other guy? They're not going to win games anyways. I mean, I don't see what are the pros of benching him right now? You lose his draft capital. His trade capital. You can't really trade him he's a bench player now. I don't get it. If you don't like him, trade him.
He didn't really have trade capital anyways, and not only that, but the pros at this point are like, it's not like Kyle Allen's been it's not like he's Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know what I mean? The kid's been in the league like 4 years or something like that. So I mean, like, he's a guy who very much like could have the potential to maybe not, a franchise $40 million quarterback, but like he very well could be the guy that like God, what is wrong with my brain tonight? Who is the kid out of Jacksonville?
The guy that gets my first round pick every year.
Jacksonville. Who is the kid out of Jacksonville?
Minshew from Washington State
No,
University.
not Minshew's before him.
Oh, Bortles,
right. So
Blake
he very well,
Boydles.
he very well
Nice
could be
college.
a Bortles type, right? Where he's in a position that he can be that guy to make the right moves, the Trent Dilfer type, whatever, right? And then you just build the right pieces around him, make him elite, make him good, and maybe they get there. So,
and Austin, no one's going to blame you for forgetting Blake Bortles, but I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that, and I want to kind of transition to kind of what I wanted to talk about for my little final thought or whatever. The potential next quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars that we might see is Trevor Lawrence. Now, I don't think
Minshew mania, baby.
No, good. The mustache stays, my friend.
I mean, he's a good little guy, but this is what I want to get into, right? I don't believe we talked about college football much on this show so far. I know it's a weird season and it's a lot different and not as many people are watching. But if you have the opportunity, watch Clemson play, watch Trevor Lawrence. You're going to have that opportunity. They're going to be on ABC this Saturday playing Georgia Tech. He's the Heisman front runner right now. Clemson's number one team in the country right now. He's thrown for 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions this season. He's probably going to be the number one pick in the draft. And the only reason I say probably and not definitely is because back to what Austin was saying about how many great young quarterbacks there are, you actually look through kind of the worst teams in the league. A lot of them do have like their guy in place who's going to be their quarterback. A lot of the teams who are kind of in position to possibly get that number one pick. So for that reason, the team gets the number one pick. Like it might be the Houston Texans. They already have Deshaun Watson. They're not going to,
So you don't think the Giants would take Trevor Lawrence if they had opportunity to ship Daniel Jones out of town? Like Daniel Jones is so.
Well, I'm saying it becomes like an interesting like question because like how much do they like Daniel Jones? I mean, got talent. It's kind of like the kind of almost like the only like.
Daniel Jones number,
maybe even like obvious one, and I don't even know if it's obvious. It's like the Jets and Sam Darnold, because they might still believe in him,
But the problem with those teams is like, does Trevor Lawrence make them that much better? Or do you just come into the same situation where you bring in a guy who has all the potential, but you still have a defense that sucks and offense
because you always have
no playmakers.
Yeah. Well, the Jets just feel like a black hole no matter what. We're talking about teams that actually have a shot here. Right?
As an organization, though, you always have the optimism that but we're going to turn it around. Okay, yeah, we're not doing it right now, but if we get this guy, we're going to put the right pieces around him. So yeah, they're going to think that it hasn't worked out with whoever our quarterback is now, but Trevor Lawrence, he'll be that guy. So, he's going to be, I probably, depending on who gets the pick, maybe definitely the number one pick, probably Heisman winner, potential national champion. So I'm just saying, if you haven't watched Clemson play this year, if you haven't really watched much college football this year, just make sure you watch Trevor Lawrence. That's all I'm going to say.
If if I was Minnesota Vikings, I would tank for him because they're already at the bottom right now. I mean, that's a team where
That's
he can come in
interesting.
and really perform. He would really perform in Minnesota. If Minnesota can somehow
It would
get
be
him, I would
so
succeed there. 'Cause
incredibly
they have a good
scary.
core. Yeah, they have a good coach. They have good coaching. They have a great program overall.
How many years are
And I
left
would
on
like
Matt
to see him go
Ryan's
there.
deal?
I think Matt Ryan's like at the tail end, isn't he? Like one
Because-
or two,
No,
two
yeah.
years
He's
left.
going to be a free agent coming up.
Because if he's
Yeah, he's
2 or
like-
less, it could be a situation because the Falcons are going nowhere fast, right?
Mhm.
They could get Trevor Lawrence and sit him down or whatever kind of thing. You know, he'll probably play sooner rather than later. But Matt Ryan's not getting any younger. You probably couldn't trade Matt Ryan because his deal is so
He can get
loaded.
a second,
Unless there was
third
a
round
team
pick,
that
maybe.
really thought their quarterback away because of an injury or something like that. Like I heard someone say on another show that maybe like the 49ers might be interested in Matt Ryan if Garoppolo doesn't pan out or something. But I think his deal is just too
Chicago
huge to take on.
Chicago doesn't have a
How many
quarterback.
quarterbacks can
honest-
Chicago get, man?
I can
It's the
see it
rest of
though
the league.
because Matt Ryan is definitely at the tail end of his career. I don't see him playing until he's 40, 45, right? And
Feel
then you're
bad for him,
talking
man.
about you're talking about I've already mentioned in Bring Your A Game, and I believe even here that I wholeheartedly believe this is Julio Jones last season in an Atlanta Falcons jersey. You're just you saw Dan Quinn get fired, the GM get fired. I mean, you're just seeing the passing of the guard. You know what I mean? So I could see them taking a flyer and if they're in that position, drafting Trevor Lawrence and yeah, even
For
sitting him a year.
sure,
Or,
for sure. Even
whatever.
if you sit him 2 years, it doesn't matter. If you're Atlanta and you have a chance at Trevor Lawrence, you go for him. My two teams, if I was Trevor Lawrence, I'd be crossing my fingers right now, would be Atlanta and would be the Vikings. Because no way in hell I want to go to New York, no matter what. I mean, I'm not either one team. I'm not going to go to New York. And I mean, Jacksonville's decent, but I think that they like the Minshew situation, and I think that they could build around him and maybe become a playoff team down the road and be decent with Minshew. I don't think that like a quarterback there would necessarily take him over in some. But Trevor Lawrence is a stud. I would love to see him go to Minnesota or go to Atlanta. I mean, that'd be great landing spots for him.
Jacksonville's
What
one
if-
of those teams
what
that
if,
feel like they should be better than they really are right now than they're playing, right?
True.
Like, they
Yeah.
have a bad
Same
record.
with
but they feel
Minnesota.
like they should be a
Same
lot
Minnesota.
better.
Minnesota's
Here's a-
1-4, but realistically, 4-1. I mean, it's a lot of close games they lost there.
Could you say biggest disappointment in the NFL so far?
Here's
Yeah,
a question:
Minnesota is.
What if Detroit got the number 1 pick? What do you do there?
What's left on Stafford's deal? That's the thing with the NFL. It's like it's
Mhm.
easy to say like, oh, let's ship Stafford out. But if his deal, he signed a monster contract. If you
Mhm.
can't trade him, then you're not going to have Trevor Lawrence sit for. I couldn't see that guy sitting for over 8 games, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause he's
Maybe
going to come in with such
maybe
fanfare.
one full season, but yeah, there's gonna
Not-
be
not
way
since
too
Andrew
many
Luck,
people
dude.
crying
There'll have been
for
someone
his
with
name.
that
so,
much fanfare.
if Detroit,
Yeah.
so if Detroit it winds up with the top pick, which could happen, they're 1-3. What position do they go after if they're not going to take that franchise quarterback? Like,
No,
do
you
they
gotta
still
go
do they
for
still
Lawrence. You
do
gotta
they
go
still
for Lawrence.
believe Stafford's the guy?
How old Stafford? Like 31,
The 32.
32?
I think
That
if
was a
they do
stud. I
have
love
that
that.
belief, then you go after a pass rusher, a
You
tackle,
know, you trade down. You trade
Mhm.
down. You trade down.
or you trade
get
down.
You get yourself a late first round and a second round pick.
But when's
for
the
a team
last
that
time
really
we
wants
watched the
that
number 1
quarterback.
overall pick trade down?
But you
That's
will.
pretty
In
rare.
this situation, listen to me. In
I
this
mean,
depends
that's the
what they can get.
storyline every year, though. Is like,
But listen,
why wouldn't you
if
just
you-
trade it for 16 more first
Bro,
round?
Go
picks?
ahead,
bro,
you know,
Washington
hey,
football
listen,
team will trade up
But
with them.
listen, but if you let's say the Vikings are, let's say, the 8th pick. The Vikings would probably give up a 8th pick, 2nd round pick, and a 4th round pick for Lawrence. They probably give up a whole fucking yard. We need another new quarterback, or the Falcons. So if you're going to be Detroit in the first, you're going to trade that pick. Give some multiple pieces around. Stafford, to me, very good quarterback.
Offensive
he has
line.
everything.